Yo, I wanted to show y'all how I do my setup with the Faderport, the Stream Deck, and don't look at the mess. My Visa card reader. Of course, you can't run a studio without a Visa card reader. Are you crazy? Like MasterCards, like they go hot in here. And some cinnamon buns. Of course, you need some cinnamon buns, bruh. And then you got the keyboard, which you've made a button that says click, and the camera won't reach. Right there is a button that says click that makes it light up. And I should do some cable management so it would look nicer. This is an Arturia Keylab 88 key keyboard. Custom made desk by me to fit this keyboard and everything else that is on top of this desk. And it seems like there's some lag on this video because I'm rendering a video while shooting this video. So it's uh, quite interesting to see that if it works, if it actually is stuttering after it's done recording. So let's have a look at this one. Studio One mix. What do we got here? Speaker switching. It's hard to get focused. Speaker switching, shortcut overlay, quantization, add plugins, routing. And if anybody has a Focusrite with more than 6 outputs, they use Focusrite control. And this one controls Focusrite control. So yeah, if you got Focusrite control, I'm going to show you how this shit works. Now let's get into the nitty gritty now. Let's change from webcam to the computer. Let's go. Here you got all my screens going. And here you see Splice and you see the videos I'm trying to record in OBS and all that jam. Because I got lots of screens right now. Remove that, please. Now, let's go to my standard preset here. And before I do anything, I'll go into OBS. No, the OBS I already got open. And choose Automatic Scene Switcher. Add this new project to the bottom screen. Thank you. So that it will automatically switch. Nice. Now, if you're on the verge of buying a Stream Deck or anything like macro controlling stuff, you might be like, why do I need it? Does it work with Studio One? Blah, 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 blah. Now, in my case, I just wanted it so bad. Before I had it, it was like, same with the Faderport. The Faderport right here. Before I had it, I was like, do I need it? Is it going to change my workflow? Is it going to speed me up? After I got it, I started doing things differently because I got it, and things just goes a lot quicker. So at first, let's even forget about the program and my setup right here. Let's go straight into the Stream Deck settings. There are so many different plugins, and with the newest edition, like the newest edition of a Stream Deck, the program, you can get icons really easily from the store right here. That's just great. I hope you see it right now because I need to click OBS. Yeah, it's there. And you also have lots of different plugins. And I found a great plugin, which is called, like I'm using a lot of them. MIDI is one of them. You can send MIDI information from your Stream Deck. What? I can't go away from the mic, then you won't hear me. But you can send MIDI data to Studio One using Loop MIDI, which is another program to send MIDI back and forth. You see it, Stream Deck to DAW, DAW to Stream Deck. Easy. And I'm using that for stuff like, let's go here, Studio One Mix, Dim. it controls a mix tool in the DAW, which is this one. So if I now click this button, it turns on and off, and I can turn on this one to shorten the range to listen to only the sub or only the mids, and I can mono the listen bus if I wish to, or dim it. So I got dim on my Focusrite. I got dim on my Focusrite, but it's kind of heavy, so I have a weaker dim in my DAW. So I got double up. Well, let's get back into it now. Here you see my OBS view screen thing where I can see what's going on. I started with this one, but it's kind of bare bones still. But one of the greatest ideas I had was I actually did today. I got the idea yesterday because I have a guy working in the studio that's not me. We're two. And thus, things, when I started teaching him the inner workings of how the studio was set up, I understood how slow some of this stuff was. And this is where I find this new super macro plugin for Stream Deck. And it's great. It's great. You also, this focus windows from Synchrono AS. Great. Like, I'm excited to talk about this stuff. Because check this out. If I go to routing here, you see what's going on here. I got lots of different settings. And some of these are insane. These buttons right here change the cutoff of the subwoofer on my speaker system. You see, I got the KRK8 Generation 4. I got the Yamaha MSP5s. And I got a subwoofer in the corner, which I use to check the low end, of course. And having to control that it's quite a few mouse clicks to get to the splitter, because I do everything of controlling where the signals go within Studio One. I also time align the different speakers using a free plugin called Sound Delay, where you can, since the subwoofer is further away, everything is synced up to that one, so when the transients hit, there won't be instead of be like real transients. But the thing here is, this is using the super macro plugin of the Stream Deck, and it's so great. So look at this. If you go down here, you can quickly see what's going on. If you go further down, you can actually get to the, let's see, where is it? There. Click here for list of commands. You can go to the web page of theirs and get the commands like mouse XY. There's a different part of the plugin, which is mouse location, which I can drag in here. And if I press that button on Stream Deck and move the mouse, you will see its coordinates. And I can hold that button to get the coordinates. Now, since my setup always has the mixer, as you can see over there, it's really easy to find out that some things, like in the listen bus, are always in the same place, always. And that's why this works. Because since I'm having the sub here, subwoofer go through here, and the other speakers go through the delay in meters, and everything is controlled with this splitter right here. Now, splitters can be opened like this, and you can move down by scrolling and then changing it here. But that's way too much more work. So instead, what I did was, if you want to turn basically off the subwoofer, you can turn the cutoff to 24 hertz. That's low. So if I then go to the Stream Deck to check the command, it's 24 hertz. Move mouse to this position. Move mouse to this position again, because sometimes it failed to move all the way. Then click the left mouse button. Then move the mouse again. Wait for 100 milliseconds. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Move the mouse. Click the button. Enter 24. Click enter. Check what this does. if I move to this screen, and let's close this thing again. Check this out. When I click the button on the Stream Deck, boom, the cutoff is 24. You got that? I got to check my OBS. Yeah, you actually got that. Check what the mouse is doing. Let's go 80. Boom. 45. 24. Woo! So let's say some clients are here and they're like, oh, we want to hear with more bass. No more struggling. Just boom. Subwoofer starts at 80 hertz. And then I click outputs on my Faderport. This one says sub. Boom. Now I'm really impressing those rappers who want to hear much sub in the song, you know? And then let's say I keep this cranked up, and when we're going to record or I want to actually listen to the mix, I go 24. Boom. And it's back to 24. And then I can turn the sub back down because it's basically not doing anything hearable at below 24 hertz. So that's just, when I found that plugin, I just got so many ideas. You can do so much. I made a tutorial about time stretching, and I now also have a time stretch, a shortcut using the mouse position to enable tape types time stretch for things. So I don't need to go into the inspector and do that. It does it automatically. Check this out. If I click, I need to find additional on my Stream Deck, and I have a button called tape stretch. Boom, tape stretch. Ooh. If I need to find the media folder in my Explorer window of this song, I just boom, click one button, then two. Ooh, great. And let's check out more stuff you can do with this. I go to routing again because that's the newest things I've done. You can also add like these multi-macro things, as you can see here. If I want the guy in the booth to hear hear a Q mix that has a lot of vocals, maybe no reverb, he can just hear that. If I want to hear him back on the speakers, like what he hears, his mix, I can click a button called here, Return Booth. What it does is it focuses on Focusrite control for everybody who has a Focusrite. Many different like interfaces have different kinds of ways of doing this stuff, right? So here in Focusrite control, it opens it first, right? And then it has a short key delay to ensure that it actually opens. Control L to load a snapshot. Of the mixer, and then a short delay. The name of the file of the snapshot you want to load, a small delay. Also, it presses enter after the message you said is here. Small delay, it plays the sound, bloop, done. And then the window minimizes again using window mover from Barrator, which is the same guy or company or whatever that made the Super Macro plugin. So now I can, if I want to hear what they're hearing, to check his mix, because he's saying like, oh, there's too much reverb, and I'm like, you're not getting any reverb. What you talking about? I can click Return Booth button. Boom. And now you can even, and I can hear myself because he will hear me through the speakers. I will hear, so this is Talkback. I will hear his mix and everything like that. And then I can go back to normal. Now it's off. And you saw when I clicked another button, my Focusrite control came up, did a lot of stuff, went away. So if I want to have Talkback to that guy, boom. Say I want to click Talkback again, boom. It's that quick. If you want a direct monitoring, I can use Focusrite control by choosing direct. Now he has direct monitoring. I can choose to have him hear the main mix, my mix. Boom. And it's so quick. So now it has the main mix, and I can turn off Talkback again. Boom. And I can enable the Talkback, which is just, that is so cool. Like the Talkback enable thing, because Focusrite Control is kind of a shitty program. It works well, but it's kind of shitty in that it's never updated, and it only has an app for iPhone and iPad, not for PCs. No, Android. I mean. So check this out. The enable Talkback button here focuses on the window Focusrite Control. I keep Focusrite Control open at all times, just minimized. Then the window mover places it in a certain position on the screen every time. Then the super macro moves the mouse over the Talkback button. Then it closes the window again. So check this out. If I click enable Talkback, see that? Now Talkback is enabled. And now in this Talkback mode I created, or Talkback snap, the Talkback would go to both headsets here. And now I can talk, and everybody in the room can talk if they want to. And it will go through the mic on the Focusrite instead of this one, which is my normal Talkback mic. Because this one is, I have a gate on it, a quite strong gate, and it's very directional since this is SM57. So they won't hear the speakers that much, but they will hear me when I talk, because then the gate will open. But if everybody in the room want to talk, I can click Talkback button, boom, the sound goes out to them, and they can hear me. Cool. So let's say the guy in the booth want to hear his Q mix, and I don't want to hear the Windows sounds like YouTube or whatever. I have a button for that called, let's go back, playback 1-2 off, because that's just muting Windows, and then it's the standard default preset of mine. Boom! Now, the guy in the booth, or the guys in the back, or whatever, hear their Q mixes and not the main mix, and the Talkback is only on this mic, and yada, yada, yada. And this is all done with a couple plugins in that follows the Stream Deck app. Just click here if you got a Stream Deck and just download different kinds of apps. And I recommend the Super Macro, the MIDI, even though it kind of sucks, it is great to use. Because if you check the dim button here, what it does, it's basically just a two-side switch that can do two things. Send a on or off, like a 127 MIDI signal or a 0 on a toggle. And it sends it through the loop MIDI, fake MIDI port. Loop MIDI is so easy. You just make a name and click play. Now you add 3+, and then you go here and just add on setup from to done. That easy. And then you can start using this one, like you see here, to control lots of buttons. Because if I click the Stream Deck, boom, boom. Check it out. That's cool. Now, yeah, you can also send information like just text, like plugins here. It just sends hotkeys. You can use everything from up to F24, of course. And yeah, there's so many things. And one of the greatest things I ever did, according to me at least, is this one. Because in Studio One, you got the Control F feature, where you can find plugins instantly. So if I write Serum, I can find Serum, boom, and I can throw it in there. It's super quick, super easy. Just Control F, find it, boom. But this can also be done for tracks, like Shift F. If I click Shift X, I search for channels. So if I go to the mixer and click Shift X, and then I write FX, the only channel showing there is FX. Right? If I want to find vocal or beat, I write beat. The only problem with this feature is that you need to write exactly the thing you're looking for, right? So let's say I want to see all vocal tracks, and some vocal tracks are called Vox for vocals, and one of them is called like rap, and one of them is called like chorus or no song, and then it's singing, maybe. I don't remember all the words I used. And then let's add some more. We have a bass, we have a sub, we have a kick, we have a snare. You know, now we got lots of tracks. And if I want to find these, I need to write, check here, Shift F, and then I choose. Oh, those are my hotkeys, by the way. I got a program to remember hotkeys, and none of my hotkeys are the ones they really are. But you can make hotkeys for this yourself. I chose Shift F. I like it. And I write kick, and I get only the kick. But if I write it wrong, like I write kicks, you find nothing. Right? And that is where my... this one is so great. Because you can write more than one thing in the filter. It's actually in the manual of Studio One that you can use it for more than one thing at once. How? Check this out. Opening Stream Deck again. Going to S1 Mix. And the Find button here. Find vocals. Find backing vocals. Show enabled with events. Show audio. Show instruments. Show empty. Show all. Show hide disabled. And I can choose Find because I got my own folder here. Find. Find Vox. Find bass. And you see, it uses a hotkey. Oops. Oops. How can I go back? Why is there no way to go back? What was the hotkey again? F22? Control F22, I think. Yeah, Control F22. Let's see. Control F24. No, Control F22. Okay. So here you have hotkeys for this stuff, right? Or macros for this stuff. So here I've used like Find Vox, F22. Let's now find out what F22 is. Check this out. If I go to Studio One, Macro Organizer, let's go keyboard shortcut first, and then just click. Yeah, I need to click the button here actually because I don't have a F22 on my keyboard. And it says Macro Find Vox. Okay, so go to Macros, Macro Organizer, then start looking. I think it's under a separate category I made that called Find. Yeah, Find Vox. Edit, filter tracks with separated by commas, Vox, vocal, rap, verse, ref, like anything. So if I click the Find Vox, and I now see I need to add song and I need to add those extra words to my list. But let's try and go for Find Bass. Sub and bass coming up. See that? Let's say I want drums. Kick and snare coming up. I want the vocals again. You got the vocals. Oh, I want to show everything that has events on it. Oh, nothing has event. I want to show all. Boom. Showing all. So this way, if you have a big project and you remember to name everything, because I made all my macros also forcing me to name stuff. Because if you just name it, you can just go by bass and you find bass, and drums and you find drums. And I got buttons for keys, for orchestra, for finding effects. If I click FX now, okay, yeah, there's finding delays and stuff. I should actually add these to the name of the list. If I click Find Vocals first, and we need to link these two. views, so it actually makes sense. It's cool. It's really cool. So if I want bass, boom, bass. It's so great. Yeah. So using multi-functions on the Stream Deck here, multi-actions, and switching profiles, I suddenly got a lot of versatility from this little Stream Deck I got. Here's even a button I have to change names. I have a couple pre-made names I can use the Stream Deck to name things. So if I make a channel and I have this window open, so let's say I want to add a lot of stuff. Click one, click guitar. We want to add strings. We want to add a kick. We want to add some brass. We want to add some hi-hat. Boom, and it's all named automatically. And now I can go to the find and I can choose find drums, find guitar, find bass, find more vocals. It's just so cool. I just love it. The other thing, which is really cool, is of course the Faderport. If you have Studio One, a Faderport at least an 8. I find 8 fits better on the desk, and it just gives you so much versatility. Because if you check this out, here I can control all my outputs. Like I showed you the sub, turn it off and on. But the greatest features of this ain't just the making a mix and tying everything together. The greatest thing here is that if you sync it to your DAW now, so what's going on screen is the same that's going on here. The greatest thing about this is for controlling sends to like either like here, cue mixes, sending the booth. Oh, they don't want the hi-hat, turn the hi-hat down. It's gone from their mix. And let's say you go to user and you choose you don't want the vocals, but the guy who's in the booth want the vocals. You can just turn the vocals up only for the booth. If you could see what it says there. You can also see it in the mixer on the screen that it changes value. Also, you can use sends. So let's say I have a monitor track here with lots of sends on them. I set up a preset with lots of sends. So if they want some big, we need more reverb on my vocals, I can just go here. This is enough. Don't even have to think about it. Don't have to look for it. It's just there. Oh, wouldn't it be cool with some delay? There's some delay. Click touch, automated, because these are touch sensitive faders. So quick. And also panning stuff is really easy. Let's see here. You got monitor, vox, rap, ref, which is Norwegian for chorus, refrain. Refrang på norsk. On Norwegian. So let's here go and pan everything to each side like this. Boom. That's a quick LCR pan. That's a lot quicker than doing it in the DAW. You can just, let's say you want to flip this. Boom. It's done. And using the macro button here is also a great thing, because let's say you want to control a plugin. Let's add a analog delay again. And I want to control the time here. I can click connect delay time to macro knob, click the macro button, and I need to be on the right channel. Duh. But now it's controlled here. If you look at this one, and we control the feedback, connect to knob 2, boom. So now I can record automation easily. And you can also, since this is a native plugin for Studio One, you can just click edit plugins, analog delay, and you get everything here. full mix, try different LFO settings, changing the inertia, all that kind of stuff. So this one is great also. And before I added the Stream Deck, I also used the MIDI mode to control certain functions through the select buttons. Now I got the Stream Deck, so I don't need to have small taped pieces of paper on my Faderport to know which buttons does what. So I don't really use the MIDI mode anymore. I use the Stream Deck instead. And yeah, that's mostly it. I find this combo of using the Faderport, Stream Deck, and the keyboard with my own shortcut remember program. Oh, I'm gonna show it to you like this, and I click this because I have a my keyboard is also able of changing every key. Like I use a Razer keyboard, which also includes macro compatibility through especially this hyper shift button, which changes all the keys if I click caps lock. So I use it as a fourth modifier, shift control alt caps lock. So if I click caps lock escape, I got this one, my shortcut overlay. And then I click B to see all the hotkeys for B. And let's say, quantize, Q. Restore timing to check transients, quantize, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I want to find something, F. Find in Explorer, Control Alt F. So if I click Control Alt F, I find the folder of the song, which has nothing in it, it seems, right there. Great. Let's say you want another one. Record, R. Pre-roll, auto punch, record panel, recall, retrospective recording, step record, input quantize, reverse audio. Reverse too. Okay, cool. What more do we want? Duplicate, D. Duplicate shared copy, duplicate tracks, duplicate complete without the vents, copy selection to duplicate track, delete time, deselect all on track. And here it says, in OBS, caps lock plus the D button is the right screen, and the A button is the left screen, S is all screens, X is the bottom screen, W is the camera. Boom! So let's say automation, A. Add automation for last parameter. X, crossfades, everything about fades. C, everything about zoom. This button, whatever that is. The crocodile button. Collapsing and opening folders, just because it looks like something opening. 1, 2, 3. Add lots of different sorts of some plugins. I mean, E, not. This one is not actually intuitive, I would say. It's E is everything that has to do with monitoring, and one thing that has to do with editing, and that is edit plugin chain button like this. Else, it's for monitoring. And that's because if you look at the screen here, the record button is there and the monitor button is there. It's not that logical, but I didn't want to use T because T is for tracks and that kind of stuff. So I used E. So E is arm, R is arm, and E is monitor. And I figured M is too far away, but I wanted a button for mute and that kind of thing. So I chose W because W is an M upside down. It's also to add Melodyne, remove Melodyne, mute and Melodyne. Yeah, cool. So all my hotkeys are located on this side of the keyboard. Age, I use sometimes, that's actually doing something, but everything else from here and out, I don't want to reach that far. Because that's using too much time. Because the Stream Deck has buttons that It's not on the keyboard because they're less used. I don't use them as often. And when I do use them, they do more than one thing, like the rooting buttons and the find stuff buttons. Because if you would use the buttons here to find vocals and find bass, guitar, and all that, you would use the entire keyboard just to find your different stuff. And you would never remember those hotkeys. Like, how would you? So everything that's quick and easy is on the keyboard, like changing your tools or adding EQs and stuff you do all the friggin' time. And then you do advanced functions on the Stream Deck, or I do. And then I use this one to give them send, to change the mix quickly without having to touch my mouse. You still have to use the mouse, of course, for editing vocals and all that kind of stuff. But if you get efficient at using this sort of setup, you can do stuff so quick. Like, if you can just train yourself to have it in muscle memory, the second a guy comes into the booth or you got a new client and you want to do something, it's either one button, two, or a slide. Combination of two might be like send and a slide. Boom, boom. So anything should be within 3 buttons reach. And if it's not, if the program Studio One doesn't allow you to do things that quickly, like the frequency split here, I just use the Stream Deck. I add it on the routing here, and boom, 80, 45, 24. Focusrite control is really, like, if you want to control it manually, it's really slow. So just having a button to do stuff, and it just works. I just advise all y'all, if you have some money to spare and you're thinking, like, oh, I want a Studio Live mixer because that will be easier to use with the DAW. If you're low on cash and you don't need the interface and you don't need to use it for live gigs and all that stuff, consider instead, even though it looks really cool, it looks fun to play with. You can route like your stream directly in it. You don't blah, blah, blah. Consider a Stream Deck. A Faderport and a Stream Deck will get you even further in the digital domain than a Studio Live mixer could. Because you got so much functionality, you can customize it however you want, and as you see, it just works great. Like, now I sound like a salesman for Stream Deck and stuff, but I'm just a happy customer who this is basically my review. Because I also thought, like, I want it, but I don't know what to use it for. And when I first started tinkering, oh my, like the Faderport 2, I was like, oh, I just want to touch some faders. That's quite a long while ago. And then it's just one of those things that the second it's not there anymore, you hate your life. Because it's like when I got the Stream Deck, I got everything. The way from my mind to the computer is so short that anything I want to do, I can do faster than I can think, almost. Like, if I want to find some vocals, or if I want to add a track, I don't even have to think about it. I just do it. And so if I want to add a mono track to record something, I just choir. And I want to find some the backing track with the choir, and I didn't add that to the button, the word choir, because in Norwegian the word choir is kor, and now it shows up. And that's because English is not my first language, so I use the words that's shortest. Choir is 2 letters longer, so I just write kor. Now, also, quantize settings, relative grid, quantize to zero grossing, add triplets. And that's also a cool thing. If your mouse supports it, check this out. My mouse has these macro buttons on the side, used for bend tool, snap to grid, clip gain, those sort of things. But also, the buttons on the top, at first I used them to undo and redo stuff. But then I figured, I use Control C anyways. Like I never use them because Control C, that's so ingrained in our brains. Control C and Control Y. Why would you do it any different? So instead, I use them to change the quantization grid. So if I'm making a drum beat, I can just click plus and minus on my mouse, and the grid becomes larger and smaller, depending on what I want. So this became a long video because it's just, to me, it's really exciting to talk about this stuff because I've used a lot of time figuring everything out and trying to perfect this setup of mine to my needs. And every time I figure out something new, like today when I figured out the routing of Focusrite Control and how I could do it because of the new plugin here, the Super Macro plugin, and also because of the idea I got because of my colleague that told me that, or he didn't even say, but I saw it on him that he felt like, that's kind of like everything else just works so smooth. And when the guy in the booth went to hear the main mix, I need to go in here and click there and there and there and there and use 10 minutes just send him the right mix. Now it's only one button. Boom, one click, done. So, thanks for your time. And if you got a Stream Deck and you figured like, what am I going to use it for? This video is for you. If you don't have a Stream Deck and you want one, get one. Like, they're not even that expensive. So what else would you use it on? A new plugin? Get out of here. You got all the plugins you need. And if you wish to have the Faderport, or you have the Faderport, more power to you. I don't know what I was going to say. This still sounds like a sales video, but I promise you it's not. Now, I'm going to end this right here because this is going way off topic and stuff. So I'm just going to open my OBS now and I'm going to shut up. See you later.